Welcome back, y'all. Today we're going to talk a little bit about trigonometry. It's been a while since we've done trig, but our next unit test is coming up is trig, areas, and surface areas and volumes. So chapter 8, 11, and 12. Now, it won't have a lot from 11 because we just included that with chapter 12 as far as finding area, because you have to find area in surface area of different shapes. But there is going to be a lot of trig. So when you go back and cover this, so let's go over the basics. Now, remember, there are three main trig functions: sine, cosine, tangent. Now, we always said what goes with what. Well, remember, some old hippie caught another hippie tripping on acid. Now, remember, so this right here says that the sine of an angle is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. Second one, cosine of an angle equals opposite adjacent over hypotenuse, and then tangent, tangent, come on, tangent, tan of an angle is equal to opposite over adjacent. So what this right here means is that if I have these parts, if I know one, I'm looking for one, or I don't have this one, but I'm looking for this one, those tells us which trig function we're going to use in that case. So let's look at this first one right here as an example. So this is the angle that we're referring to right here. So from here is what we label all the angles. So from this angle, this will be considered the opposite side. This is the hypotenuse, always across a 90-degree angle. And this makes this the adjacent, the side that's next to the angle that's not the hypotenuse. So according to this problem right here, we have an adjacent and we're looking for the hypotenuse. So some old hippie, another hippie, tripping on acid. All right, so we have this and we're looking for this, so we're going to do cosine. That's how you know which one to use, which of the trig functions. So as we set it up, we'll say, hey, cosine of our angle is equal to our adjacent side, 14, over our hypotenuse, x right here. Okay, now as we set this up right here, we got the x in the denominator, and we cannot have the x in the denominator. We got to get that out of the denominator. So to do so, we're going to multiply both sides by x right here. Okay, that cancels out right there. Now we have the x in the numerator. Now we're good. So we have, hey, x times the cosine of angle 15 equals 14. We have to now get x by itself. Now it's up here. It's a funky looking x. So we're going to divide both sides by cosine of 15. Cosine of 15 right there. So we're left with x equals 14 divided by cosine of 15 right there. Now, let's look at that. So in your calculator, if you have an actual calculator, you should plug it in just like that. 14 divided by cosine of 15. And you should get 14.49 or round it to 14.5. But if you don't, you're trying to use your phone or the computer calculator. Let's see how it looks like right there. So we're going to do 14 divided by, now you got to do it backwards. You got to do the 15 first and then hit cosine. That way it gives you the cosine of 15. See how it switches it right there. And then you hit enter. You get 14.49 or 14.5. That's the answer on your review list. All right. Let's look at the next one to see this one that doesn't have the x in the denominator. So here, this is our reference angle right here. So that's our opposite right here. This is our adjacent. This is our hypotenuse. So this is another cosine because it's adjacent hypotenuse cosine. Cosine is adjacent and hypotenuse. Sine is opposite and hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite and adjacent. So it's cosine. So cosine of the angle 21 equals our adjacent side, x, over our hypotenuse 20. So this time the x from the numerator. So we're set. We're ready to kind of just solve this almost. We got to get x by itself now. So we multiply both sides by 20 here. Crosses that out. Giving me 20 times cosine of 21 equals x right there. And this is what goes in the calculator. So the way that goes right there, we'll do 20 times, and again, you got to do the angle, the number first, 21, then hit cosine, and then enter. 18.67 or 18.7 will be your answer for number 4. So the first half of this assignment is just finding the missing side. The second half of the assignment is finding the missing angle. So it still refers to the same sine, cosine, and tangent with the same parts that are related to it. But this is where we do our inverse, or our, as some of you guys said, cosine or sine or tangent to the -1, the -1 power. So we're the same way. So this is our angle. So from our angle, this will be our opposite. This will be our hypotenuse, making this our adjacent. So we look at the two sides we do have. We have the opposite and hypotenuse. So we're going to use this one. So if you were setting it up, you will set it up sine of the angle that we don't know equals our opposite over our hypotenuse, 49. Now, to get the angle by itself, we multiply both sides by the inverse. That crosses that out, leaving me theta, the angle, is equal to the inverse sine of 47 over 49. This is what's going to go in your calculator just like that. So if you have an actual calculator, you hit second sine, it should bring the sine to -1, and you put in 47 divided by 49. You should get 73.57. Again, if you're doing it on your phone or on your Chromebook's calculator, you'll do the inside part first. You hit 47 divided by 49, hit enter, and then you hit tangent and hit second, and then on your iPhone you would do the same thing. You hit second, and this should bring up this option. You put that in 73.57 or 73.6. So let's do one more then of these right here, so we can look at it. So this is our angle, making this our opposite, this is our adjacent, and this is our hypotenuse. Adjacent and hypotenuse is cosine. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So since we're looking for an angle, we can just say, hey, theta, our angle, equals our inverse cosine, because we already know we're looking for the angle of the adjacent over the hypotenuse. All right, and that's where we plug in our calculator. So let's refer over here. So we'll do 31 divided by 37, and then hit second inverse cosine, 33.08 or 33.1. Hopefully this is a good refresher. Remind you, helps you remember most of these stuff. Or if you didn't get it the first time, get it this time. And of course, you're always welcome to look back at the Trig videos from chapter 8. Y'all have a great day. Bye.